Welcome everyone to Coaching in Session. My name is Michael Rearden and I'll be your coach this evening. So today we're going to be having a holiday mindset talk. We're going to be talking more about that next week on Wednesday because I did create a workshop talking about the negative sides of the holiday mindset. But today we're going to talk a little bit about gratitude and then a little bit teaser of what's going to happen next week because the news already shows it all. And we're going to look at that a little bit so you can see just how the holiday mindset is going to be shifting from being grateful to being thankful to being jolly and merry to being in fear and to being pessimistic toward the future. Very interesting. So stay tuned for that. And let's get into today's podcast. Today, we are going to first address what I talked about yesterday. If you weren't fortunate enough to catch my Thanksgiving Facebook Live, then I'm going to give you some excerpts. We were talking about being grateful. What is gratitude? And we talked earlier on what is gratitude. We had the gratitude workshop last Wednesday, but here we are on Friday, a day after Thanksgiving, and mayhem is breaking loose everywhere. Stock market, news of new variants of COVID. There is, if you live in the United States, there are several shootings. Doesn't sound like gratitude to me. And I don't want to be the bearer of bad news or say I told you so or say I predicted it because that's not what I really want. I want you to be in a better position. I want you to be able to go after more in your life. I want you to understand that the life that you're living, it can be better. But I knew this was going to happen. What happened in the news, what's happening, is common sense. And I say that not because I'm a guru or because I'm psychic. It's just because if you pay attention to what history is, and then you just look a little bit ahead, doesn't have to be far, 2-3 months, and you can see what you thought about coming true. It's very interesting. Yesterday, we're talking about gratitude, how on Thanksgiving, we're thankful for having the food and being around family that we might only see once a year, maybe see them twice a year for Thanksgiving and Christmas, but sometimes you only see them once, especially if you live far away. So if you're one of the people who are traveling, safe travels. But then at the same time, you have some time to reflect on your trip, your journey. And hopefully it was a good one, right? Hopefully it's something that you can look back and say, that was a good trip. I'm excited for next year. When you go next year, pay attention to how you thought throughout the year. Were you just going through the phases of your regular life, or were you trying to be in a better position come next Thanksgiving? And the majority of people are just going to go back to their regular life. Whether that be after Thanksgiving, after Christmas, after New Year's, they go back to their regular life. And that's going to be the holiday mindset. We have a short window from, let's say, October to January. And that's being generous for people to push more. Similar to how procrastination kicks in, because procrastination is not necessarily a real thing. It's just something we create. But if we had to give procrastination a definition, it would be the fear of putting off something until the fear of not doing it is greater than if we didn't do it. So procrastination is just us not wanting to do something because I'm not going to enjoy it as much as I'm doing, what I'm doing right now. And you might just be on your cell phone. You have a fear of doing it. And it's not like a dreadful fear, like if you're afraid of snakes or of heights. It's going to be one of those fears that, I don't really want to do it because it's going to be a lot of work and I got to do research and I have to cite things and blah, blah, blah. So we make up excuses for what is going to be happening when it comes to procrastination. But for the holiday times, that procrastination is there, but it's not as forward as the rest of the year. And the reason why is because people are going to be excited for what's coming up. They're going to be excited for the food, seeing family members, and maybe you're not one of those people, right? Maybe you loathe seeing your family, and every time you see them, there's always drama. Very possible. But for the majority of the people, they're going to see their family, they're going to be joyed. They're going to have a good time. The food might be okay, maybe not. All I know is when I go to Thanksgiving, my food is always going to be on point, because you always got to make sure you bring a dish. Because if you bring a dish, then you should like your dish that you're bringing. And if the food's not good, just eat your dish. You'll be all right. But that's just a little trick for Thanksgiving. If you go to people's houses who don't know how to cook, or if it's the first time we're going to their home and you don't even know if they're good cooks. So now we have gratitude. I'm grateful that I go to their house and they welcome me with open arms and they share their food with me. Can't get enough of that. But when it comes to gratitude, it's not simply about what you get, it's what you give. Because we can realize when it comes to gratitude, I'm grateful that I woke up this morning. I'm grateful that I was able to go to the gym and get a good workout in and eat leftovers from Thanksgiving. I'm grateful for that. But it doesn't stop there, because gratitude needs something else. It needs to be giving. It's the next step to gratitude, because you're thankful for what you have, and then you're appreciative to what you have, and you pay attention to what people do not have. So if you have food on your table, understand that there's someone who does not have food in their belly or in their plate or on their table. Maybe they don't have a table. For the longest, when I moved down here, I lived in an apartment in bachelor lifestyle, so I didn't have a table. There was no need. I had my little counter nook, and that's all I needed. But I was still grateful for what I had. I was grateful that I was able to come home every day and have a safe place to stay, have food in the fridge, food in my belly. I was grateful because here in Austin, we have a decent sized homeless problem. The people are not dangerous for me. I have talked to them several times, and I guess some people might be a little bit more dramatic than others, but for the people that I'm talking to, most of them are just down on their luck. And they're good people. They're not bad people. Some made mistakes and they own their mistakes. They say, I had this mistake, I made a failure, but then they own it. And that's interesting, because when we think about our mistakes and our failures, we blame and we pass off the torch to someone else, saying, nope, that's not my problem. That's their problem. And that is the holiday mindset we're getting into in our current day in society, because it didn't used to be that way. We used to be able to say, you know what? I'm going to take care of this. Don't worry about it. Just take it easy. Now it's more like, you did this, you're to blame, you need to fix it and hurry up. Times have been changing. And for me, I know how to adjust my life to not have outside influences come into my life and determine what the outcome is going to be for me. I know how to do that. Not everyone does. Some people allow drama in their life left and right, whether it be people calling on their cell phone or just at family gatherings. You just can't be around them. Regardless of that, now we are getting past gratitude because Thanksgiving is gone. And now we're on Black Friday. And Black Friday is a day where there was a stock market crash and they call it Black Friday. So now the stores celebrate Black Friday by having a huge sale. You can go to Walmart, get a flat screen TV that you don't need. You can buy all your Christmas gifts for the holidays at a discount. Sounds like a bargain. But with the current state of our economy, with the current state of our society and the mindsets that people are holding on to, it's actually more dangerous to go out than many believe so. Now, I'm not saying that you need to be fearful to go out, because you shouldn't. You shouldn't be in fear. But the mindset of people is very selfish. It's entitled. And you might notice it during the holiday times. People become impatient. More so now than if they were in any other month. And a little bit stems from stress, money stress mostly. Could be work stress. But for a good portion of people, they're not used to being so merry and happy. So now what they do is they put on a face, a mask, similar to how we have masks for quarantine. They put on a mask and they say, all right, I'm going to be happy and I'm going to be merry and I'm going to love everyone. And as soon as I'm done doing that, I'm closing my door and do not bother me, because you're mentally spent. For you to pretend to be someone you're not is very tiring. You're going to be exhausted mentally and physically. So now we have all these people going out after they've spent time with their family yesterday, being a good boy, being a good girl, saying, oh, yeah, and agreeing with people. No bite, because you need to be friendly. But now we have a day after Thanksgiving, the day all our pent up anger and frustration, maybe that happened yesterday, maybe we feel good. Maybe we're happy-go-lucky and we love our family. But if you're not our family, stay the heck back. It's an interesting concept around the holidays, because I grew up in Connecticut. The dynamics from where I live now in Austin, Texas, to Connecticut, night and day different. The people in Connecticut, you don't talk to them. No. If you see someone from Connecticut walking, you leave them alone, because they do not want to talk to you. And here in Texas, it is rude if you don't say howdy, good morning, good afternoon, how y'all doing? You're considered rude to an extent. So for me, I always make sure I am getting out of that way of thinking from when I was in Connecticut to now here in Texas. So if I see someone going by, good morning, how are you? Here's the door, have a good day. And that type of gratitude, that type of giving, so much more intrinsically filling than if I just kept to myself in Connecticut. But it's interesting. So let's get it a little bit into the news, because the news is going to be talking about what is going on and how we should be thinking right after the holiday. Literally right after we gave thanks, now we're going to be focused on all this fear, all this trouble, and it doesn't make sense. CNN reports what we know about the new COVID variant. Well, if you haven't realized yet or heard, there's a new variant in Africa. And guess what happened? It came out on Black Friday. Is this coincidence? Let's say it's coincidence. So it happens on Black Friday. Stock market does terrible. I lost a bunch of money. Oh well. It's life. So COVID happened. Now everyone's in a panic. Guess what they're doing? If you're in Africa, you're going to have travel restrictions. So don't even think about coming over here. Well, how about the families who are over there to visit family? Or Americans to go over there to visit family? Now they have to go a roundabout way to come here. And I guarantee you people are going to come a roundabout way to get here. They're going to fly from Africa to Canada, from Canada, come into the United States. Maybe they'll go to Mexico. These travel restrictions that they're trying to implement, probably not going to work. But they have to do something to show face, because if they don't do something, they're going to slam the administration. And of course, mainstream media doesn't want that. So CNN is talking about all that stuff. And then one of the other stories they're talking about is that there are some shootings. There's a shooting in San Diego, and there was a shooting in North Carolina. So there was 2 shootings I know about just from reading the news really quickly. And that happened on Black Friday. It happened when we're supposed to be happy and cheerful and merry. Why is this happening? Because what has happened for this whole entire year, scratch that, for the past 2 years, has been nothing but negativity. There has been not much positive going on. And guess what happens when you don't have a lot of positive going on? People's mindsets are going to be negative. Now, if you have a negative mindset, you're going to have negative actions. And now people are causing harm to people. And it's going to be a constant state of fear and a constant state of people fighting. And the way we have to address that type of mindset is by not saying, okay, we're going to be happy because it's the holidays. We need to just get in a better mindset to be more positive. Because that negative mindset mixed with who or what we're doing right now is not going to work. So moving on from CNN, let's go to ABC. And it's more of the same thing. COVID. What do we know about the COVID variant? Because if you know anything about mainstream media, if you know anything about the news, they push what people want to watch, what people want to know. And people want to know about COVID. They want to know how to operate. Do I need to get a booster? Do I need to stay away from certain places? Do I need to wear 2 masks, 3 masks, 17 masks? They need to know how to protect themselves. And maybe they protect themselves by being in fear. Or maybe they say, I'm going to stay protected by staying inside my house. I'm not going to leave. I'm going to have DoorDash bring me my food. I'm going to have Instacart bring my groceries. You could do that. There's more to life than living in fear. So when the news media is promoting fear, they are getting views, of course, and at the same time, they're showing us what's happening in the world, right? We do need to be informed, but we need to make sure we don't become misinformed. So, of course, small shooting, that, and then moving on to the Washington Post, the same thing. They're talking about restriction from Africa. They're talking about a few people who were going through some legal problems, but nothing crazy here. The New York Times, we have, of course, the same thing. New variant of concern fuels global fear of another virus surge. How many people do you think are going to lock down again? Not many, especially here in America. You can see what they're doing over in Austria, I believe. I think it's Austria. They are locking people down. If you don't have the vaccine, guess what? You can't even leave your house. You're staying inside. But with this new variant, what are they going to do? You're not vaccinated for this new variant. They have to get another shot in order to be vaccinated for this new variant because the shots do not protect you from the new variant. But they might say, oh, don't worry, if you have the shot, it's going to help you. Hey, I'm not part of the CDC, nor will I want to be part of the CDC in the future, or they can pay me whatever they want. I'm not going because they're just puppets. They're just being pulled along, stringed along. If you look at what they said and just holding them accountable to the word, because think of who I am. I'm a mindset coach, right? I'm helping people. If I didn't have my life in order, you're going to question that. Maybe I was 50 pounds overweight. Maybe I was a very uncouth gentleman. And now you're like, why am I going to talk to this guy? Why am I going to listen to him? And it's the same thing that we need to do with government entities or any type of media source. Any type. It doesn't even have to be mainstream. It could be Channel 52, which I don't even know what Channel 52 is, but it could be Channel 52 News. Unheard of news. It doesn't even exist. But I practice what I preach. And I do what I say. So when it comes to media when it comes to news, it comes to society, talking about, oh, we need to be fearful. Oh, we need to do this. Oh, we need to prepare for another lockdown. I mean, the first lockdown, I did what they said. Government said we need a lockdown for 2 weeks. I said, all right, 2 weeks, I can do that. I can help out. I can flatten the curve. But then guess what? 2 weeks happened and they said 3 months. We need 3 months, guys. And in the summer, we found out that the sun kills the virus and we won't have any problems. Okay. 3 months, huh? Not going to do it. And it's not because I'm being a rebel. Not by any means. I want people to be safe. I want people to live on to, old ages. What I won't allow is someone dictating my life. Tell me what I can and can't do. They have the wrong country for that. And the reason I say that is because we operate under a limiting mindset from the school system to adulthood. Now we're adults, but we're still operating under the same mindset we had when we were children. We have a limited mindset. Someone says we can't do something, we say, okay. Maybe you challenge it, maybe you pout, but at the end of the day, it's okay. So when someone tells me my life, because I only have one life, I have a finite amount of time on this planet, so many years left. If someone's going to say I need to sit inside and waste my years, waste my days, that goes against being a mindset coach because my life is abundant. And when I think about the new variant, the possibilities of the spread infection, of course, if you're nervous, if you're scared, wear N95 mask or greater. For the people who are wearing surgical masks or walking around, I have no idea what you're doing. That does not stop the spread of the virus. And if you think that if you're getting this new variant of virus that's supposed to be so deadly and so scary, and you don't have symptoms, that means you're healthy. So there's no need to be walking around with a mask. Now, if you feel a little tickle in your throat, you got a little tickle, put a mask on, right? You don't have to be a jerk. Me, when I'm sick, I have rules. I stay the heck inside. And this is before COVID. Because for me, I go to the gym 5 days a week. And I have a rule that I created. When I'm not feeling well, because I'm not 100% now, because I do a self-assessment every morning. If you've been following my content, I do a self-assessment every single morning. And if I'm not 100%, I ask myself, why am I not 100%? And then once I figure out why I'm not 100%, I say, how can I get to 100%? And if I'm sick, I need to stay my butt in bed and get some more sleep so I can fight off this cold or whatever I got. That's just me, though. I'm not going to say the rest of the world has to do what I do. But at the same time, just because I operate differently, why do I need to operate like everyone else? Because I'm under a different type of way of thinking. But I'm still put in one umbrella, one pool, stay inside. It's interesting. Then we'll head over to our last one. It's going to be Fox News. So Fox News is going to be talking about, of course, more of the COVID and more of the shooting that happened at the mall. I love the wording news media sources use, right? Black Friday nightmare, right? A dark reminder. Numbers don't lie. Up in flames. The Omicron is a new variant or something, the Omicron. And they're vaccinating people. And they don't even know if their vaccine is going to help with that variant. It's interesting. So besides the mandates, besides the new variant, besides the political aggression, what's next? What's something we need to be focusing on? Because if we keep on focusing on general life, we're always going to be pulled away from where we want to go. Because Thanksgiving was one of the best ways to start our last month. We're around family, we're friends, eating well, happy, cheerful, etc. And then all of a sudden, the day after, hey guys, we don't want you to be too happy. Don't get too excited. We have a new COVID variant that just came out. You need to be scared and you need to be cautious. Make sure you get your booster. Otherwise, you're going to catch it. And if you catch it, we can't promise you anything. It's interesting. It's an interesting way of thinking. It's an interesting way of living. And what I ask people is to do what you feel is correct. Do what you believe. Because if you know anything about mindset, if you tell yourself something enough, you're going to eventually believe it. Now, whether that belief is a truth or a lie, that's going to be up to your interpretation. For me, when it comes to my time, I hold that at the utmost value. And it's not that I won't share my time with you. You can email me, coachinginsession@gmail.com. I'll give you some time. I'll send you a few emails, figure out what's going on. How can I help you? Maybe you don't like me. Maybe you want to send me an email and say, I don't like you. And I'm going to say, thank you. How can I make you like me? And it's not that I'm going to do it. It's just that I want to figure out what this type of mindset is causing you to believe. Because if you have an answer for that, right, a reason to hate someone, the reason not to like someone, then that is a you problem. That is your problem, not my problem. And you might say, I don't like the way you talk to people. I don't like the way you look, or I don't like the way you send a message out to the world. Okay. Well, you can send the message too. But my message is very clear. If you're a person and you want a better life, it doesn't matter. We're not talking about politics. We're not talking about news. We're not talking about viruses. We're talking about you as a person. Where are you right now? Where do you want to be in 5 years, 10 years? Talk to me about that, because that's what I help people with. All this hoopla that's going on that I talk about is so you can see your mindset. And when you see it change, you can say, oh, Mike told me that was going to happen. And it happened. But then you're prepared for it. Because it's better to be equipped with knowledge than to be given a false narrative that doesn't help you in your life. On Monday, we're going to pick up a little bit on what's going on this past weekend, but we're going to be tackling the blog, the new blog that comes out Monday. And then on Wednesday, we will be finishing up this conversation, our mindset conversation, our holiday mindset conversation. If you haven't already, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all those things that videos like. And if you have any questions, email me at coachinginsession@gmail.com. And until then, everyone, take care.